I just learned that Mr. Gnatt died yesterday. Mr. Gnatt was my music teacher. He was the music teacher at the Yeshiva Flatbush Elementary School, where in third grade he taught us how to play the Khalil, the flute, the Israeli flute. And I had him for private piano lessons for about 7 years. 7 years I would go to his house. He lived around the corner from me for piano lessons. He played a zillion instruments, taught me piano. And then in high school he was also a music teacher and the head of the orchestra, where I was a piano player. But in ninth grade there were a few older piano players, so he taught me to play the glockenspiel, the Glock, which I was able to play while I was waiting for the first and second piano to graduate. And also the Glock enabled me to walk down Fifth Avenue during the Israeli Day Parade and play the Glock with the orchestra while we marched. And also, so I was thinking about him. I was thinking about Mr. Gnatt. He was a Holocaust survivor, and he had certain triggers about the Holocaust, like he didn't like trains and he didn't like clogs and things like that. But he never talked about the Holocaust. He was joyful he was very joyful. He just loved music. And one thing that I've taken many things from him. You know, I know how to play the piano because of him. I went to him when I was 5 years old, actually, to have piano lessons then. But he said, no, we only started at the age of 8. So I was playing piano, but not right away. He was very encouraging, and he had ideas, and he, you know, if I said, oh, this is a song that I want to learn how to play, he would find the sheet music and he would get it for me. The thing that I've really taken with me now recently is that when we were in third grade and we had this music class with him, he would often start the lesson with the song in the background, playing in the background, and the song was, "Good morning, starshine, the earth says hello." He taught us all kinds of songs like that. I'm sure some of my classmates will remember also. "The sun is a mass of incandescent gas." He taught us all kinds of sort of atypical songs for the kind of environment we're in. But the Good Morning Starshine song I have been singing to my granddaughters, my twin granddaughters who were born in May. When I see them in the morning, I find myself singing to them, "Good morning, starshine," from Hair. It's a song from the musical Hair that our music teacher in our Orthodox day school would play for us over the loudspeaker when we walked into his classroom. And I think about that actually because, you know, there are so many classroom environments where the class starts with not exactly music, where it'll start with a lot of barking orders, you know, sit down, everybody to your seat, sit down, be quiet, that kind of thing, where there's no hey everyone, how are you doing today? You know, it's actually something that I learned from Debbie Miller when I was in Australia, the late Debbie Miller. We taught together at Melton in Australia, and she always started her classes also with music. She always had music playing in the background, and it was very important to her to create a loving environment. And you don't necessarily see that often in, you know, formal school settings. But Mr. Gnatt did it. Mr. Gnatt started the class. We would walk in and there would always be music playing, even from Hair when we were 8 years old. And I've totally adopted that. I've recently reclaimed that and have been doing that myself. And I think about Mr. Gnatt all the time, actually. So, farewell, Mr. Gnatt. Thank you. Thank you for all that wonderful influence. Thank you for teaching me music. Thank you for teaching me music.